Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter-Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Westerns and crime on a Tuesday with episodes of Gunsmoke and Fort Laramie from Sunday, July 1st, 1956. Roy Rogers from 1954. Y'all come. Also an episode of Wanted from 1950. And The Couple Next Door, Peg Lynch and Alan Bunce. That's all coming up on a Tuesday, a brand new month, the first day of July, 182nd day of the year. And we're almost halfway through. We got 183 days remaining till we get to the 2026. Battle of Gettysburg began on this date in 1863. We talked about that yesterday in an episode of the CBS Radio Workshop. Department of Justice came into existence on this date in 1870, and the world's first international telephone call took place on this date in 1881. Not a big, long-distance call. It was between St. Stephen, New Brunswick, Canada, and Calais, Maine. So, just across the border. Battle of San Juan Hill fought in Santiago de Cuba on this date in 1898, the Spanish-American War. Communist Party of China founded on this date in 1921. Boeing Air Transport began on this date in 1931. It would later become United Airlines. Tokyo City merged with Tokyo Prefecture on this date in 1943 and dissolved. Since then, no city in Japan has had the name Tokyo. Present-day Tokyo, not a city. New York Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia read the funnies on the radio on this date in 1945.
Now, children, I know you're all disappointed today that you didn't get the funnies. So gather around. Here's Dick Tracy. Let's see what Dick Tracy is doing. Now, get this picture. Here is Wet Wash. The doors of the laundry wagon are open. He's leaning with his back toward the wagon, and he's counting his money. 2, 3, 4,000.
Now, LaGuardia was scheduled for his weekly, regular Sunday broadcast of Talk to the People, a show he held on city-owned radio station WNYC. At one point in the show, he encouraged the listeners to gather the kids around the radio and commenced reading that day's Dick Tracy comic from the Sunday Daily News. Well, with obvious relish, the mayor described the action in the panels, impersonated the voices of the characters, and reminded listeners of the plot that had led up to that moment. At the end of each strip, he would explain the moral of that week's adventure to his young listeners. On this date in 1963, zip codes became introduced for U.S. mail. And in 1950, on this date, U.S. and UN involvement in the Korean War formally began.
From the NBC Newsroom in New York, truckloads of U.S. fighting men are rolling north from Daejeon, Korea, to reinforce South Korea's battered army, which still holds Suwon and its vital airstrip. The first American ground troops flown in from Japan, they're now approaching the combat zone. Meanwhile, the North Korean communists report that American planes have bombed their capital of Pyongyang 3 times today. Keep tuned to your NBC station for the later news.
The beginning of the war in Korea on this date in 1950, or U.S. and UN involvement, I should say. A European community formally created on this date in 1967 out of a merger with the Common Market, the European Coal and Steel Community, and the European Atomic Energy Commission. Well, just in time for National Hot Dog Month on this date in 1967, Armour rolled out its famous jingle.
Hot dogs, Armour hot dogs. What kinds of kids eat Armour hot dogs?
Fat kids, skinny kids, kids who climb on rocks, tough kids, sissy kids.
Even kids with chicken pox love hot dogs.
Armour hot dogs.
The dogs kids love to bite. Picking it up on the old banjo, put on the mustard and away we go.
When man bites dogs, and still they say.
But when kids bite dogs, they yell,
Hooray for hot dogs.
Armour hot dogs.
The dogs kids
Love to
Jingle in response to the Oscar Mayer Wiener jingle from 4 years earlier. On this date in 1969, Prince Charles of Wales crowned.
I, Charles, Prince of Wales, do become your liege man of life and limb, and of earthly worship. And faith and truth I will bear unto thee, to live and die against all manner of folks.
Charles, now the King of Britain, and we'll see how long he lasts. He is a cancer patient now, but he continues to fight on. In 1979, Sony introduced the Walkman in Japan.
When you're on the go, enjoy music in motion with Sony's Walkman stereo sound system.
It would take another year for the U.S. to get the Walkman. That wouldn't be till 1980. The PG-13 rating introduced by the Motion Picture Association of America, 1984. And in 1987, American radio station WFAN launched in New York City as the world's first all-sports radio station. In 1991, President George Herbert Walker Bush nominated Federal Appeals Court Judge Clarence Thomas to the Supreme Court.
Judge Thomas's life is a model for all Americans, and he's earned the right to sit on this nation's highest court.
Now, Thomas, of course, would be railed by accusations of sexual misconduct. Of course, in that point in time, a conservative black man would always be attacked. In 1997, the People's Republic of China resumed sovereignty over the city-state of Hong Kong, ending 156 years of British colonial rule, and it has not been smooth for the people of Hong Kong. In 2000, Vermont's civil unions law went into effect. In 2002, the International Criminal Court established to prosecute individuals for genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, and the crime of aggression. 2004, Saddam Hussein made his first appearance in court at his arraignment, and he was charged with a variety of crimes, including the invasion of Kuwait and the gassing of the Kurds.
Saddam Hussein was asked his name at the very beginning and said, "My name is Saddam Hussein and I am the president of Iraq." And that was the position he took throughout, that he was the president of Iraq and he needed to be treated under certain circumstances. He could not be treated as a common criminal, and he did not accept the jurisdiction of this court. At one point, about 2/3 of the way through, he said, "Let's cut through all this. We know what this is. This is theater organized by President Bush, George Bush, the Bush administration, in order to improve their political fortunes."
ABC's Peter Jennings, Hussein, of course, pled innocent. In 2015, the U.S. and Cuba announced full diplomatic relations would be restored between the Cold War-era foes.
To keep moving forward, both governments must proceed in a spirit of openness and mutual respect.
Secretary of State John Kerry. And it was on this date in 2020 NAFTA went away to be replaced by the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA. Passing away on this date in history, I've got a bunch of them here, including inventor Charles Goodyear, the rubber tire man, author Harriet Beecher Stowe, Argentinian President Juan Perón, R. Buckminster Fuller, actor Michael Landon, radio personality Wolfman Jack, baby, actress and model Margot Hemingway, actor Robert Mitchum, popular singer Guy Mitchell, candy magnate Forrest Mars Sr., actor Walter Matthau, jazz flautist Herbie Mann, also actor Marlon Brando, singer Luther Vandross, and actor Carl Malden. Birthdays on this date include the fine actor Charles Laughton, entrepreneur Estee Lauder. Something smelled about that lady. Also sportscaster Bill Stern, actress Olivia de Havilland, actor Farley Granger, singer Bobby Day, film director Sidney Pollack, actress Shirley Hemphill, and the Diana, Princess of Wales, all born on this date in history.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
An actress with a wonderful, rich film history, but it took her until 2007 to win an Emmy Award for Law & Order SVU, a role in which she played in that. Actress Leslie Caron, 94 years old today. Klinger from MASH, Jamie Farr, 91.
Corporal Klinger reporting, sir.
The Pride of Toledo, Ohio, Jamie Farr, 91 years old today. Debbie Harry of Blondie fame, 84 today. The B-52's Fred Schneider is 74. The Blues Brothers' Dan Aykroyd is 73.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses.
Of course, Dan Aykroyd's start was in Saturday Night Live. That's where he hooked up with John Belushi and formed the Blues Brothers. Dan Aykroyd, 73 years old today. Alan Ruck, you remember him as Cameron Fry, Ferris Bueller's hypochondriac best friend in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He was also had a role on HBO's Succession. Alan Ruck, 69 years old today. Evelyn Champagne King, shame, 65 years old today. Pamela Anderson is 58, though I believe we still know that parts of her are significantly younger. Missy Elliott is 54, and from Lord of the Rings and 911 Lone Star, Liv Tyler is 48. Those just a few of the people celebrating the first day of July as their birthday. If this is your birthday,
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
And on this first day of July, we go back to a Sunday 69 years ago for episodes of Gunsmoke and Fort Laramie, and we'll talk about a few of the news items from that date when Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues. But first, these words.
Hello, everyone. This is Robert Merrill. In the American Cancer Society's vast effort to control cancer, there is one aspect that interests me particularly. This is the fellowship program for outstanding young doctors. Here are men who have devoted years to preparing themselves for their profession, college, medical school, interning, and perhaps more time as resident physicians. Many promising careers are open to them at this point, careers which will support their families comfortably. Yet, they accept American Cancer Society fellowships at $50 a week. Now, these dedicated young scientists are working for us. We owe it to ourselves to help them in this tremendous fight against man's cruelest enemy. We can and we must help this fellowship program as well as the other valuable endeavors of the American Cancer Society. Give generously. Mail your contribution today to Cancer, care of your local post office.
We continue now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox by going back 69 years to Sunday, July 1st, 1956. William Conrad in an episode of Gunsmoke. But the focus is not Bill Conrad. The focus is Parley Baer as Chester. Seems like the episode's entitled A Gun for Chester. Somebody's out to get him.
Gunsmoke, brought to you by Chesterfield. Chesterfield packs more pleasure because it's more perfectly packed, thanks to Accuray. They satisfy the most.
Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad. The transcribed story of the violence that moved west with young America. And the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man, Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet. It's a chancy job, and it makes a man watchful and a little lonely.
Doggone thing. There. That works.
Hello, Chester.
Mr. Dillon?
Are you going hunting?
No.
I saw all kinds of wild turkey about a mile down the Arkansas yesterday.
I ain't going hunting, Mr. Dillon.
What's the gun and all the shells for, then?
Well, shotguns was made for more than shooting birds with.
Yeah, that's true.
Mr. Dillon, you ever hear me talk about Live Oak County?
South Texas? Sure I have. According to you, it's a hideout for bandits.
Yes, sir, it is. And they've got a saying down there that if the law ever did catch any of them, there ain't enough good men around to act as a jury to try the bad ones.
Well, that's very interesting, Chester, but you're a long way from Live Oak County now.
Well, part of it's moved up here.
What?
Asa Ledbetter. He's in Dodge.
Asa Ledbetter? Is he an outlaw?
No, sir. But I seen him at the Long Branch, and there's only one thing he's here for, Mr. Dillon.
Well, what?
To kill me.
All right, Chester. Are you going to tell me why Asa Ledbetter is here to kill you?
It don't matter why, Mr. Dillon.
Okay. I'm going to go in there and talk to him.
I'd as soon you didn't.
I don't like people getting killed in Dodge, Chester. Even you. Now, you wait here, huh? Hello?
Oh, say, you're the marshal.
Your name Asa Ledbetter?
How'd you know that?
Chester told me.
Chester?
Yeah, Chester Proudfoot.
Well, okay, Marshal, he got my name right, but I don't recall his.
What?
I never heard no Chester Proudfoot. Glad to meet you, though. Buy a drink?
Oh, thank you.
Say, there was a fella in here a while ago, I remember, 'cause he was staring at me so hard. He heard me say my name, too. I was talking to a cowboy about finding work around here.
Where you from, Ledbetter?
Texas.
What part?
Amarillo.
Ever been in South Texas?
No, never have. Marshal, what's this all about?
Chester thinks that you came here to kill him.
Now, just look here, Marshal. I don't know this Chester fella. Never even heard of him. I don't go around murdering people.
I hope that's true, Ledbetter.
Of course 'tis. And I don't like nobody dragging down my good name, Marshal.
Nobody is. So long.
You just asked anybody from Amarillo about me, Marshal. They can tell you.
Chester?
I feel like a darn fool standing out here.
Are you sure you haven't got Asa Ledbetter mixed up with somebody else?
Not hardly.
He claims he never heard of you.
He's been looking for me for years.
Why,
It don't matter why, Mr. Dillon. If I'm dead, all that matters is I'm dead.
Why don't you take a few days off, huh? Go fishing or something.
You don't believe me, do you?
I didn't say that, Chester.
Well, you'll be sorry, Mr. Dillon. You'll be real sorry.
That whistling man, Bobby Haggart, really started something. Tonight, the Calypso Boys join in. Ready, amigos?
Packs more pleasure, packs more pleasure. Chesterfield packs more pleasure because Chesterfield's more perfectly packed.
It stands to reason a cigarette made better and packed better, smokes better, tastes better. And Chesterfield is more perfectly packed by Accuray. This electronic miracle removes human error in cigarette manufacture. So Accuray Chesterfield is firm and pleasing to the lips, mild yet deeply satisfying. Yes, Chesterfield gives you something no other cigarette can give you.
Chesterfield packs more pleasure because Chesterfield's more perfectly packed.
To the touch, to the taste, Chesterfield packs more pleasure because it's more perfectly packed. By Chesterfield, mild, yet they satisfy the most.
Well, Kitty, that was a real good dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you.
Thank me.
Well, I thought you were paying for it.
You're the one who needs a vacation, not Chester.
Oh, but you're a rich woman, Kitty.
Let's talk about Chester. Does he really think Asa Ledbetter's after him?
Well, that's what he says.
It's not like Chester to make up a thing like that. Matt?
Hey, you stay here.
No, I'm going with you.
It's a couple of drunken cowboys.
Yeah, you going after him?
Dillon! Mr. Dillon!
It's Chester, Matt, down there by the alley.
Come on.
What's the matter with his arm? Looks like he's been hurt.
Yeah.
He shot me, Mr. Dillon. He shot me.
One of those cowboys?
No, Asa Ledbetter.
What?
I seen them cussed cowboys coming, so I ducked in the alley here. And Ledbetter was down at the end of it, just waiting for me. I think he just hired them fellas to set up a commotion so he could get a shot at
Here,
me.
let me see that arm.
The bullet went right in here, Mr. Dillon. It didn't break nothing, though.
Ah, Chester, you've been hurt worse than this a dozen times. Now, look, if you ducked in the alley, you were probably facing the street, weren't you?
Yes, it was.
All right, then Ledbetter wouldn't have been behind you. The bullet entered from in front.
It was him, I tell you.
Or the wild bullet from those cowboys.
You think I'm lying?
Well, I think you're worrying yourself into seeing things.
I'm going up to Doc's, if I can make it.
Now, wait a minute, Chester. Where's Ledbetter staying?
Well, he told me the Dodge House, Matt.
All right, I'll go talk to him.
Sure. You go talk to him. How many times do I have to be shot around here before anybody believes me?
Oh, hello, Marshal.
Ledbetter.
Something wrong?
How long you been in your room here?
Oh, I've been taking a nap, Marshal. Up until them drunks out there woke me up.
Chester says you tried to shoot him a few minutes ago.
Now, Marshal, I'm getting sick and tired of this Chester. What's he trying to do, anyway?
He's pretty certain about it.
Bound and determined to get me into trouble? I'd doggone if I know why.
There must be some reason.
Well, sure, and if there is, I don't know it. I'll be glad when I find me a job and get shut of this town. Never did hear nothing good about Dodge anyway.
We try to keep it peaceful.
Oh, sure, but it's like you say. Probably ain't enough good men left to act as jury to try the bad ones.
Uh-huh. Just where do they say that, Ledbetter?
Oh, I don't know. You heard it before, ain't you?
Yeah, I've heard it before. It's a saying down in South Texas in Live Oak County.
Well, that may be, Marshal. And I heard it in Amarillo. Now, ain't that possible?
Yeah, I guess it is.
Marshal, listen here. If I come here to kill a man, what did I be waiting around for? A change of weather? It don't make sense, does it?
No. No, it doesn't make sense. Any part of it. How does it look, Doc?
Well, it's just a scratch, man. A scratch? I suppose if I come in here scalped, you'd say the barber just give me too tight a haircut.
Now, Chester, be brave, boy. Yes, there we are. In a week, you'll never know you got hit.
Well, it's a mercy it wasn't my gun arm.
Chester, I told you Asa Ledbetter was in his room the whole time.
You mean he told you?
I asked the desk clerk on the way out.
Then he was lying, too.
Chester, how long since you've had a good night's sleep?
Now, Doc, don't you start that.
Well, you admit you didn't actually see Ledbetter in that alley. But next time you'll see him all right, won't you? Whether he's there or not.
Have you finished doctoring my wound?
Oh, now, wait a minute. Getting mad won't help you.
Well, maybe it will.
Well, where are you going now?
Who cares where at I'm going?
He'll get over it, Doc.
Yeah, I hope so. The only thing I can figure is that he's got this Ledbetter mixed up with somebody else.
Yeah.
But it'd certainly help if he'd say why he thinks he's after him. Because... Matt?
Yeah, what is it, Doc?
Come over here at the window. Quick.
What's going on?
Look, down there in the street.
That's Asa Ledbetter.
And Chester's standing there about to shoot him.
Yeah, I'd better hurry, Doc.
I'm just getting plumb good and tired of you.
And why don't you do something about it?
Chester.
You stay out of this, Mr. Dillon.
I don't like gunfighting, no matter who starts it.
I didn't start it. He come here to shoot me.
Marshal, he is crazy. He ought to be locked up.
Sure, I'm crazy. I should have called you out before. Now, you gonna fight or not?
No, I ain't gonna fight.
You scared?
I got no quarrel with you.
Are you scared?
Leave him alone, Chester.
No.
Then tell me what this is all about.
No.
Now, Chester, why don't you just go off and get drunk or something?
Hey, Chester.
Now will you draw? Now will you?
Oh, Marshal, I ain't gonna take much more of him.
I said, are you
All right,
gonna
Chester,
draw?
that's enough. Now you come with me.
You're a dirty coward.
You
Ledbetter.
come with me, I said.
You're with him, ain't you? You and Doc and everybody.
Maybe you are crazy, Chester.
Sure. Oh, sure.
Well, where you going?
I'm gonna get me a drink. Alone.
Say, where are you listening to Gunsmoke? In your car? Getting ready for dinner? Oh, I see. Just relaxing in your favorite easy chair. Well, I'd say you're in a good spot right now to really enjoy a Chesterfield. You see, Chesterfield packs more pleasure because it's more perfectly packed. It stands to reason. A cigarette made better and packed better smokes better, tastes better. And Chesterfield is more perfectly packed by Accuray. This electronic miracle removes human error in cigarette manufacture. So Accuray Chesterfield is firm and pleasing to the lips, mild, yet deeply satisfying. Yes, Chesterfield gives you something no other cigarette can give you.
Chesterfield packs more pleasure because Chesterfield's more perfectly packed.
To the touch, to the taste. Chesterfield packs more pleasure because it's more perfectly packed. By Chesterfield, mild, yet they satisfy the most.
Doc? Is that you, Doc?
Oh, man. Why, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, man.
Yeah. You been on a call?
Well, I haven't been romancing the ladies. Yeah, is Chester asleep?
Yeah, he's asleep. But not in the office.
Well, why not? Where is he?
I locked him in a cell out back.
You locked him in... What?
He got drunk, Doc. By sundown, he was as drunk as I ever saw him.
Well, maybe he needed it, Nat. Maybe it'll bring him out of all this.
Well, something's got to.
Yes, it does. Well, I'm going to go to bed now, man. You better go, too.
Yeah, I am, Doc. I think I'll use Chester's bed in the office tonight.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, good night, Doc.
Don't move, Chester. This here's a shotgun. All right, now get off that bed and get over to the window. Go on. Better. I'm gonna sit down here and light the lamp now, but you just stand steady. The shotgun's right across my knees. Now, Chester, you and me, we're going... Marshal? What you doing here?
Well, I was trying to get some sleep.
Well, you don't sleep here.
It's Chester's bed, all right.
Where is he?
Now, he's around. Somewhere.
Where you going? Stand still. Marshal, stand still. I mean it.
Well, I was just going to close the back door here. You left it open.
I want it open.
All right. I'll open it wide.
Here, Marshal, no call for that. All right, where's Chester at?
I don't know where he is, Ledbetter.
You're lying.
Yeah, I'm lying.
He got drunk this afternoon. You brought him over here. I thought you put him to bed, but since you didn't, there ain't but one place he'd be. Right out there in that cell behind you.
You walk right past him on your way in, Ledbetter.
Get out of that doorway, Marshal.
No.
I'll shoot you if you don't.
You'll shoot Chester if I do.
Now move, I say.
I can't oblige you, Ledbetter. I'm sorry.
I'll kill you, Marshal.
Don't shoot again, Chester.
Mr. Dillon? Is he dead?
Yeah. You hit him in the head with the first shot, Chester.
Pure luck. I heard you kick that door. It woke me up.
It's a wonder anything could wake you up tonight.
Well, I don't feel so good, but I ain't drunk no more. Say, you got me locked in here.
Yeah, I thought of that, but I forgot to take your gun away from you.
That was mighty careless of you, Mr. Dillon.
Well, it doesn't matter now.
You knew I had it. You was going to let him shoot at you so it'd wake me up and I'd have a chance at him. I guess I was kindly wrong about you being agin me.
You know, it might have helped things if you'd have told me why Ledbetter was after you, Chester.
I just couldn't, Mr. Dillon.
Oh, why?
It had to do with a lady.
Oh.
She's dead now, but I didn't want nobody talking about her, saying her name. Nobody. Can you understand that?
It'll be daylight soon, Chester. Let's go brew up some coffee, huh?
Thank you, Mr. Dillon. Thank you.
In a moment, our star, William Conrad. Vacation coming up soon? Here's how to pack more pleasure. Make sure you have a couple of cartons of Chesterfields in your suitcase or in your car's glove compartment. A touch tells you Chesterfields are firm, packed full. Your taste tells you they satisfy the most. So when you do your vacation shopping, ask your dealer for Chesterfields by the carton.
You know, the early frontier years were lusty and brawling, and men happily fought each other as a matter of course. But next week, it's the man who refuses to fight that causes all the trouble. And that was the West. Good night.
Gunsmoke. Produced and directed by Norman MacDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Our story was specially written for Gunsmoke by John Meston, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Sound patterns by Tom Hanley and Bill James. Featured in the cast was Lawrence Dobkin as Asa Ledbetter, Parley Baer as Chester, Howard McNear as Doc, and Georgia Ellis as Kitty.
Live modern. Smoke L&M.
Live modern. Change to L&M.
Yes, have an L&M. No other cigarette you can buy, plain or filter, gives you the full, exciting flavor you get through the pure white L&M Miracle Tip. Through the modern Miracle Tip, L&M tastes richer, smokes cleaner, draws easier. So light up, free up, let your taste come alive. Live modern. Smoke L&M.
Join us again next week for another specially transcribed story on Gunsmoke.
"69 years ago, July 1st, 1956, Gunsmoke here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We'll take a look at some of the news items going on that Sunday 69 years ago in a moment.
This is Walter Pigeon. I'd like to ask you to think for a moment. Think of all your neighbors, friends, or relatives who have died of cancer. Now I'd like you to think of something hopeful. The biggest battle in the history of medicine is now being waged against cancer. Science is learning more and more about this disease, and I'm confident that someday cancer will be conquered. But it won't happen without a fight. And leading this struggle is the American Cancer Society. Their programs of research, education, and service have already accomplished a great deal, and they will do much more if all of us help them. You see, the American Cancer Society can exist only if the American people support it. So won't you join me and all of your friends and neighbors and give generously to the American Cancer Society? Mail your contribution to Cancer, care of your local post office. That's Cancer, care of your local post office. Please, please help in this fight against man's cruelest enemy.
Now some of the news stories from Sunday, July 1st, 1956, 69 years ago. United Steelworkers President David J. McDonald warned the strike-bound steel industry the walkout of 650,000 mill workers may be long unless the companies come through with a good new contract offer. Also, an official communist newspaper charged from behind the Iron Curtain that U.S. Central Intelligence Agency Chief Allen Dulles helped mastermind the Poznan revolt. The accusations came as reports from Poznan said the Polish city returned to near normal yesterday under the constant watchfulness of heavily armed communist troops, patrols, and tanks. Two huge airliners turned into hurtling coffins for all 128 persons aboard, presumably by colliding in flight. They were found burned and shattered yesterday on adjacent peaks in Arizona's Grand Canyon. Senators Kiepopper, the Democrat from Tennessee, and Senator Munt, the Republican of South Dakota, sat down yesterday to debate the Senate's record in this election year, but quickly swung into a far-ranging political free-for-all. Kiepopper, a candidate for Democrat presidential nomination, accused Senate Republicans of using an old smear tactic in an attempt to link his party to communism. And Munt asserted that the Democrats, facing major international crises in the past, wound up every time in war, while the Republicans, he said, back off and maintain peace. President and Mrs. Eisenhower exchanged personalized anniversary gifts in a sentimental celebration of their 40 years of married life. Beginning his first full day of convalescence at the nearby farm home, President arose early, dressed in sports clothes, and presented his wife with the gold heart-shaped medallion he had designed himself. The medallion, about the size of a $50, had a small calendar in the center. The date, July 1st, the Eisenhower's wedding day in Denver in 1916, marked with a small ruby. Mrs. Eisenhower insisted on getting her gift the first thing in the morning, gave the president a gold-framed picture of herself, one that he had particularly admired. William W.L. Chun made 2 suicide jumps from the YMCA hotel in San Francisco. He succeeded on the second try. Coroner deputies say Chun's first leap was from the window of the 5th floor to the roof of a first-floor extension of the building. He landed on a wire screen covering a skylight. Deputies said he then dragged himself up a fire escape to the roof, jumped 13 floors to his death in a parking lot. The atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima August 6, 1945, claimed its 8th 1956 victim. 56-year-old Mrs. Rai Morihito died of a bloodstream ailment apparently caused by radiation effects. Dr. Jesus de Galantes, missing foe of Dominican Republic dictator Trujillo, apparently had other political aims as well. New York Herald Tribune says the Columbia University lecturer had collected more than $1 million as representative of the Spanish Basque government in exile. Soviet Union claiming a 155-year-old citizen, Yegor Korolev, living in a village in Soviet Georgia. Richest Roman of them all, according to the Italian government estimates, Prince Alessandro Torlonia, whose ancestors administered papal property. Torlonia's 1955 income, 799 million lira, more than $1.25 million US. Those some of the day's top news stories from the newspapers of Sunday, July 1st, 1956, on your radio next. Fort Laramie, starring Raymond Burr.
This year, 32,300 people
are doomed to death.
By Cornelius Hap, I never stopped to realize.
You know, Harlow, it takes 10 seconds and 336 feet to stop a car traveling at 60 miles an hour. That's why brains are more important than brakes. Why the man behind the wheel should beware of the speed at which he's driving. Why safe and sane are synonymous words to drivers who value their fellows' lives as well as their own.
In other words, Hap, just because Autolite resistor spark plugs give your car more pep, don't try to use all of it, eh?
Exactly, Harlow. But there's more. The Good Samaritan is the gracious guy or gal who not only knows and keeps the rules of the road, but also keeps his temper in his head when some bungling Benny gives him the road hog treatment.
Yes, Hap, it's sad but true that one right way to wrong driving is to always demand your highway rights. Be sure to be safe.
Right, Harlow.
Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues now with an episode of Fort Laramie. This also broadcast Sunday, July 1st, 1956, and that was 69 years ago today.
At the gallop! Oh!
Fort Laramie. Fort Laramie, starring Raymond Burr as Captain Lee Quince. Specially transcribed tales of the dark and tragic ground of the wild frontier. The saga of fighting men who rode the rim of empire. And the dramatic story of Lee Quince, Captain of Cavalry.
Honey, you're still pulling your wrist back. Now, here, watch me again. And I see, yes, if you just squeeze the trigger and hold steady on your target, your wrist won't fly around so.
But I'm not a cavalry lieutenant. I'm just his wife.
Oh, I know.
Oh, my. I didn't know anyone else was watching.
Captain Quince.
As you were, Lieutenant.
Thank you, sir. This is my wife, Hester. It's Captain Quince, honey.
Ma'am?
How do you do, Captain?
Hess she don't take to a pistol, but I'm learning her all I can. It's slow going.
Teaching, Blade. Teaching, not learning.
Teaching.
I was a schoolmarm back home, Captain. And I must say, Blade doesn't take to words any better than I take to a pistol.
Well, then you're both teaching, not learning.
But that's just it. Just it.
I try to tell her maybe she's got more need for a pistol out here for when words don't matter.
Well, I just don't see the need, Captain.
Well, that's too bad. Seeing it or not, there's need.
Now, you mean to tell me that your wife knows about pistols and rifles and riding horses and all kinds of menfolk carryings on?
I should have warned you, Captain. My Hess, she riles easy.
Well, I'm not rile, Blade Stalker. I'm asking, that's all.
If I had a wife, ma'am, she'd know all I know about living out here. And pistols and rifles and riding are part of the living.
And I try to tell her, Captain. I do try.
Well, I declare I am not stupid. But everything you say, it's not womanly.
It's not womanly country.
Meaning women folk don't belong out here?
Well, depends on the women folk, ma'am. I'd say you have to want to belong. Afternoon to you.
Afternoon, Captain.
Well, I like that. He as much as said I belong out here.
Hess, tell me what's trouble with you. You said nothing at a time.
Not by the mane, ma'am. You just can't get nowhere from no horse hanging onto his mane that way.
I've got to hang on to something.
Well, but...
You just don't ride side saddle, Sergeant.
Now, that's a fact. Oh, you looking for me, Captain?
Oh, just passing by, Sergeant. Afternoon, Miss Meade.
Good afternoon, Captain. Guess I'm quite a spectacle, aren't I?
Oh, you look fine, ma'am.
I'd like to believe that. I don't know who's getting the worst of it, the horse or me or Sergeant Gorse.
Seems to me you're all bearing up well.
The captain's a sight better teaching women folk to ride than I am, Mrs. Meade. I tell you the truth, I'm no hand at this side saddle business.
I got business with the major myself, or I'd sure...
Or you'd sure think of some other reason to be moving out, wouldn't you, Captain?
Well, yes, ma'am, I guess it would.
I don't blame you, either of you. And, Sergeant, if you can find some unsuspecting trooper and pass this duty on to him, you have my leave. And I won't be the least bit offended.
Oh, no, ma'am. Thanks just the same. You understand, it ain't you, Mrs. Meade. You're just as willing as can be. It's just
my petticoats, that's what it is.
Well, now, ma'am...
I guess the major will wonder what's become of me.
Now I've embarrassed you. Oh, help me down, Captain, before I break the post morale completely.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Captain.
Don't mention it.
You dropped something there, ma'am.
Not a petticoat, I hope.
This pistol, Miss Meade.
Oh, thank you, Captain.
You always carry it?
Oh, Jim would scalp me if I didn't.
And he should.
I know. And I'm a good shot, too.
Miss Meade, have you met up with Mrs. Stocker yet?
Mrs. Stocker? Oh, Blade Stocker's wife.
Yes, you know her?
Well, just to speak to at the Sutlers. I don't really know her. She and the lieutenant moved onto the post just last week.
If you ever do get to know her, you might show her you carry a pistol and tell her why.
She doesn't know why?
Well, Blade's doing his best, but she don't see the need.
I'll make it a point, Captain, but I can't understand Blade. He was at Fort Phil Kearny with us.
Under Fetterman?
I thought she was there, too, but maybe not, though. Because the women at Kearny saw the need. Fast.
You want any of these boxes open, Mrs. Stocker?
Oh, now, don't you bother with that, Lieutenant Seibert. Just moving them in for me is a big help.
Glad to do it.
Oh, I declare you'd think they give a body time to move into their quarters. Here it is, less than a week, and Blade's already drawn Officer of the Day.
That's the Army for you, Mrs. Stocker. You draw the duty, you do it, that's all.
Now, you're not going to start lecturing me, too, Lieutenant Seibert.
Sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean it to sound that way.
Oh, don't mind me. Blade says I rile easy, and I guess I do. But he's all so new to me. And folks from Captain Quint's up and down have been mighty free with their advice.
Well, they're just trying to help.
Well, I'm sure of that. But there's help and help, if you know what I mean.
Yes, ma'am.
Now you, Lieutenant Seibert, helping me move my books and belongings in. I can appreciate that more.
Books, huh? No wonder those boxes are so heavy.
Mm-hmm, my school books. I taught the grades back home before I married Blade. Teaching was my whole life, till him. I tell you, I couldn't leave my books behind me. I just couldn't.
I can understand that.
You can't?
Yes, ma'am. I brought a lot of books out myself from West Point. I attended the military academy.
My goodness, a real West Pointer. I declare.
Mrs. Stocker, are there any more boxes of yours out there on the wagon?
Well, not exactly. I mean, not on the wagon.
But there are more boxes somewhere.
Can you forgive me, Lieutenant Seibert? They're clear down at the post office. Now, I know you don't have the time to go all that way.
I'll be glad to, ma'am.
Well, I'll be more than grateful. I'll make the nicest cherry tarts, Lieutenant. I'll see you get some soon.
I'd like that, ma'am. I won't be long.
Anybody home?
Oh, well, yes. Well, come in, won't you?
I'm Liz Meade, 2 doors down.
Well, I've seen you at the Sutlers, haven't I?
Yes.
Oh, I'm Hess Stocker.
I know. Is it all right to sit on one of these boxes?
Well, I'm afraid they're all I have to offer right now.
I feel like I know you. Weren't you at Fort Kearny with Blade?
No. We've just been married a month. I've never been anywhere with Blade but here.
Oh? Well, my husband knew Blade better than I did, but there's sort of a link between anyone who served there.
Fort Kearny?
It's up on the old Bozeman Trail. It's closed now. That's all Indian territory since the treaty, but
You must be mistaken about Blade, Mrs. Meade. He's never mentioned Fort Kearny to me.
But I'm sure he was there. There were 5 companies of infantry.
Oh, your husband's an infantry officer?
Uh-huh.
Well, that explains it then. You must be wrong about Blade. He's in the cavalry.
There was a company of cavalry, too, under Captain Fetterman.
Well, it's not important, of course. But I know Blade would have told me.
Of course, I'm sure he would. And as you say, it's not important. Well, can I help you with anything?
No, thanks kindly.
Oh, my goodness, I almost forgot. I brought you a little present.
Well, aren't you nice?
I have a practical turn of mind. It's something no army wife should be without.
What? Well, these are cartridges.
Well, I just assumed yours was a .38 like mine.
Well, I don't know. You know about firearms?
A woman has to, out here.
Well, I don't understand. A big post like Fort Laramie, with all these men here to protect us.
But the men aren't always here, Mrs. Stocker. My husband and most of the infantry are out now. These are the facts of the West.
Mm-hmm.
Many of the Indians are hostile, and the fate of white women in their hands... Well, it's best to know how to defend yourself.
You've had to defend yourself?
Many times. At Kearny, the women held the fort in one Indian raid with less than a dozen men to help.
Were any of the women killed?
Some. And some carried off by the Sioux. Dying's easier.
I'm a school teacher, Mrs. Meade. I want to make my way out here teaching the young that you don't have to kill to get along. I think schools are more important than guns.
We can use the schools, Mrs. Stocker, and there's not a woman out here who won't want to help you get them. But till you do, you have to live.
I guess I can defend myself if I have to.
Well, it isn't always a case of defending yourself. Sometimes a woman has to make a choice, a quick choice.
Of living or dying?
Of living or enduring. Mrs. Stocker, don't you know what happens to a woman if a hostile carries her off?
I think maybe that would be something for Blade to tell me, Mrs. Meade.
Yes. Yes, you're right. And when he tells you that, maybe he'll tell you what the pistol is for. Really.
Can I talk to you a minute, Captain?
Sure. Well, what's on your mind?
Well, Captain, maybe just off the side here. It's kind of personal, sir.
All right.
Would you be willing to do some talking for me, Captain? I just can't seem to get that job done with Hess, using firearms and all, I mean.
You sure you're trying hard at it?
I don't know what that means. I'm trying. I've been trying, Captain. There's a lot I told her, and a lot of times.
Lots you haven't told her.
Well, it looks like a big Fort Laramie. I'd have swore I wouldn't know anyone here from the old days. Sure didn't reckon to run into Miss Meade again. She told you, huh?
It's a secret you were at Fort Kearny?
Well, no, not that. Well, they're just hard words to say to Hess, Captain. It all happened kind of quick, like our marrying and moving out here. I know Miss Meade didn't aim to, but she sure didn't do me no good bringing up Kearny to Hess.
Miss Meade didn't get very far with your wife, and I can't talk to her about Fort Kearny. I wasn't there.
But we only been married a month. We don't even know each other right good yet. Now, well, how are you going to say to a brand new bride that she ain't the first? I mean, you was married before.
I don't know that. But you're the one to tell her, if she's told. Blade, what's the matter with you?
There's a lot, I guess.
First you say, will I talk to your wife about her need for a pistol? Then you drag Fort Kearny into it. Now you're talking about you were married before.
Well, don't you see, Captain, they're all the same thing in a way. It don't come easy to give Hess a pistol and tell her to use it on herself if it looks like she's going to get took by Indians. Captain, I've done it before. At Kearney. And that wife had to use that pistol on herself.
I didn't know that, Blade. I don't think Mrs. Meade knew it either. I'm sorry.
No, Captain. No. Sorry's no matter. It's not your fault. Captain, can't you see? I done it once. And it don't set well a second time. It just might could go hard with a man.
You ever said it all out this way before, Blade?
No, sir, not out loud.
You might feel some better. Now it's said.
Yeah, I reckon I might. Obliged to you for listening anyways, Captain.
Blade.
Sir?
You'll want to say something to her tonight.
Tonight?
We're moving out tomorrow.
Still you.
Now, why can't I do that?
Oh, Mrs. Meade. Do what?
Mount like that. I'll bet you wear fewer petticoats than I do.
Might be I do.
Sergeant Gore says you ride beautifully.
I know some about horses.
Well, I'm learning. Mind if I ride with you this morning?
Oh, well, I'm going quite a way. That is, I have some business to tend to.
All right. I just thought with Blade gone a week now, you might be wanting some company. I hope you're carrying your pistol.
I'm carrying it.
That's good. Well, have a nice ride.
I expect to, Mrs. Meade. I'm going over to the Indian Agency. Talk to the agent about setting up a school.
You're not riding to the agency alone.
Now, don't start telling me the agency Indians are hostiles. Blade told me different.
But it's 10 miles from Fort Laramie, and you don't know what you'll run into between here and there.
I reckon I can take care of myself. After all, Mrs. Meade, I'm carrying the pistol. Not that I'll have a minute's need for it. I guess you could do with the water. More of a ride than I thought. Oh, no.
Miss Docker? Miss Docker, are you all right?
I'm fine. But for you coming on me this way... Do you know how near I came to firing on you?
I've been trying to get within earshot of you all the way from the fort. This is a very stupid thing, riding off alone this way.
Well, I might have shot you. Seems to me you're the stupid one.
I suppose I am, but you've got to realize the dangers out here, Miss Docker. At least with the two of us, we're protection. Wait. What? Wait, it's over there. In that brush near the trees. Something big.
How can you tell? I don't see anything.
It moves big. Timberwolf, maybe a wildcat.
I hope not.
I hope that's all it is.
You're just trying to frighten me.
Hold your pistol steady toward that big tree. And be quiet.
It's an Indian.
You're not afraid, Hess. Pick up your pistol and show him you're not afraid.
I can't. I don't let him.
Stop. Stop where you are. We're not afraid of you. If you have something to say, say it and go away. You understand this pistol? Go on. Go away. Leave us alone or I'll fire. You understand?
What's he going to do?
One more step, and I'll fire.
Is he dead? Did you kill him?
He's dead.
He'd have killed me. If it hadn't been for you, he'd have killed me.
No, he wouldn't, Hess. Not for a long time. Let's go home.
You reckon she's hurt somehow, Captain?
No, I don't see how.
You want I should go with you? I'd be proud to.
Oh, I'll do it, Gorse. It's my place.
Yes, sir. I sure feel mighty bad for her.
Yeah.
Her being so new here, not taking to the life easy. I might just look in on her tomorrow, lend a hand maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, you do that, Gorse.
Well, night, Captain.
Good night, Gorse. Miss Dunker?
Oh, why, Captain Quince. You're about the last person I expected to see. Oh, is Blade with you?
Can I come in, ma'am?
Oh, well, of course you can. Please come in. I don't know where my manners are. I guess it was seeing you, and if it was anyone, I thought it would be Blade.
You want to sit down, Miss Dunker?
You've come about Blade, haven't you? Something's happened to Blade.
He's dead.
He's dead?
Sometimes it's better hearing it right out. You want to sit down now, ma'am?
Yes. Yes, I think I do.
Would you like a drink of something, or do you want to hear about it?
I want to hear.
It happened quick, Miss Docker, and if it's got to happen, it's best quick.
He didn't know? He didn't suffer?
No, ma'am. One shot, clean. That did it. I don't know what it'd mean, but Blade would want it just that way.
I guess he would. Captain, we didn't even know each other yet. There hasn't been time.
Yeah, he said that, too.
That night before he left, he kept trying to tell me something. He'd try, and then he'd fret a while, and then he'd try again. Finally, he just threw that blame pistol on the dresser, and he said to me, "Take it, Hess, honey. Know how much I love you." That's the last words he said to me. I think he was trying to tell me something, Captain.
I think he told you something, ma'am.
Know how much I love you. Oh, Blade. Blade, honey.
Miss Tucker, if I can do anything...
You can go. Leave me be now. I want it that way for now.
You'll be all right alone?
I gotta find that out for myself, Captain.
Yes, ma'am. I'm right sorry, Miss Tucker.
Captain?
Yes?
You brought him back, did you? Back to the fort?
We brought him back.
I'm glad.
Night, Miss Tucker.
Captain Quint.
Oh, morning, Sergeant.
You heard about her, Captain? Mrs. Stocker?
What about her?
She's gone.
Gone? Where? How?
I went over there right after reveille, like I planned last night. I couldn't raise her, so I figured she was sleeping heavy. On the way back, the corporal of the guard told me some woman rode through the main gate not 10 minutes ago.
Why didn't he stop her?
Well, he didn't know her, or what's happened to her or anything. Captain Quincy knew one thing. She was carrying a pistol like she knew what to do with it.
You said 10 minutes?
Yes, sir. You gonna find her, Captain?
Ma'am?
I was too scared to fire it before.
You all right, ma'am?
I'm all right. I aimed to use it, Captain. Turn it on myself. I was too scared to do that, too.
No need for that.
No matter, I couldn't do it. It's a pretty morning. Got no right to be. But it's pretty.
It's new. It's a beginning. That's always pretty.
We were beginning, Blade and me. And I was beginning on my own. To get a feel like I belonged out here. But you're right, Captain. It's not womanly country.
It still depends on the woman.
I'm a schoolma'am. Teaching was my life, till Blade. I reckon it's my life again now.
You still got a life. Or don't you see the need?
Need?
Schools. We can use them out here, on the post, on the agency. Someone has to start them. Someone has to want to.
Someone who could do some learning while they were teaching. I might fit the bill, Captain. I got a lot of learning ahead of me.
Fort Laramie is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald and stars Raymond Burr as Lee Quince, Captain of Cavalry, with Vic Perrin as Sergeant Gorse. The script was specially written for Fort Laramie by Kathleen Height, with sound patterns by Bill James and Ray Kemper, musical supervision by Amerigo Marino. Featured in the cast were Harry Bartell as Lieutenant Seiberts, with Gene Bates, Lynn Allen, and Lawrence Dobkin.
Company, attention! Dismiss.
Next week, another transcribed story of the Northwest frontier and the troopers who fought under Lee Quince, Captain of Cavalry. Each of us has an important part to play in defending our own locality as well as our country as a whole. If Los Angeles, Chicago, or Cincinnati is bombed, it will directly affect every farmer in North Dakota or miner in Kentucky. Won't you give a few hours of each week as a ground observer or a worker in a filter center to help your country? Become a Ground Observer Corps volunteer in your community. Write or telephone your nearest Civil Defense Center or write to Ground Observer Corps, Air Force, Washington, D.C.
69 years ago, July 1st, 1956, Raymond Burr, Fort Laramie on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. More drama tomorrow. We'll start off with Men in White, starring Robert Taylor, an episode of Encore Theater from 1946, a 1935 episode of Calling All Cars, the Oakland payroll robbery. Dana Andrews and I Was a Communist for the FBI, Where the Red Men Roam, and a 1954 episode of Night Watch from the Mean Streets of Culver City, California. On Thursday, Broadway is My Beat, starring Larry Thor, tops off another crime-filled episode, which includes an episode of The Green Llama from 1949, Alan Ladd from Box 13, The Puppy in an episode of Challenge of the Yukon from 1947. Friday, The Adventures of Sam Spade, and then The Lives of Harry Lime, Murder by Experts, and Science Fiction with X-1, a 1957 episode entitled Skulking Permit. On Saturday, we'll hear from Matt Dillon again, an episode of Gunsmoke from 1954. We'll check in with Paladin, Have Gun Will Travel from 1959. A 1953 episode of Escape, A Source of Imitation, and another science fiction show, 2000 Plus from 1950, A Veteran Comes Home. Sunday, Barry Craig, Confidential Investigator from 1954, The Tough Guy. The Summer Show for Suspense, Somebody Knows from 1950, the story of the Gladys Kern murder. And you were offered, the listener at the time, $5,000. If you could figure out or had clues to the actual commission of the crime. Joel McCrea, Tales of the Texas Rangers, The Boomerang from 1952, and a 1958 episode of Suspense, Rub Down and Out. We'll start the new week with The Rogues Gallery, starring Dick Powell from 1946, The Cabin on the Lake, Candy Matson, Yukon 28203. I think it is. I didn't write that down. I hoped I would remember it, but apparently I didn't. But that Candy Matson, 1949, The Cable Car Chase, 1947 episodes of Did Justice Triumph, Poison for Profit, and Escape, The Man Who Would Be King. And going out a week from today, George and Gracie from 1940, as they left the Halls program over on NBC to move to CBS. And for Spam. Yeah. And an episode of Breakfast in Hollywood starring Tom Brenneman, but this one wasn't in Hollywood. They were on the road. The FBI in Peace and War, Cross Country from 1956. And we'll wrap it all up with an episode from the last season of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Mandel Kramer. That's going to be coming up. We will also have coming up this next week an episode of Granby's Green Acres. Yeah. It kind of has, is kind of the redheaded stepchild dad of the television show. But coming up next, we're going to go to 1954. No stepchild here, just Roy Rogers inviting you to Y'all Come.
Maybe you're about to hit the jackpot. Maybe you're on the point of inheriting $500,000 or finding oil. Chances are, though, that none of these lovely things will happen. Chances are, if you want a bonanza in the future, you'll have to save it up. Now, there are a number of ways to do that. Some people stuff their mattresses, stash their cash behind a loose brick in the fireplace, or slip it under a floorboard. None of these methods make sense because money so stored isn't making a cent for you. Not only that, it may get lost or stolen. Wouldn't you rather your savings made more money for you? Wouldn't you rather have them theft-proof, loss-proof in every way? Of course you would. And you can the United States Savings Bond way. Through the payroll savings plan where you work or the bond-a-month plan where you bank. $3 will get you $4 on maturity every time. Nicest thing of all, it's literally impossible to lose your money. If baby shreds your bonds into confetti and drops them out the window, you can recover your cash plus interest in United States Savings Bonds.
We roll on here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox with a 1954 episode of The Roy Rogers Show. As Roy invites you, y'all come.
Happy trails to you. The
dependable Dodge Plymouth dealer in your neighborhood, the man who sells and services the elegant new 54 Dodge presents the Roy Rogers Radio Show. Yes, folks, it's the Roy Rogers Radio Show for the whole family. Adventure, suspense, mystery, and music. Starring Roy Rogers, King of the Cowboys, and Dale Evans, Queen of the West, with Pat Brady, the Mellow Men, and an all-star cast. And now here to greet you with a song and a story are Roy and Dale.
Y'all come.
Y'all come.
Y'all come.
Y'all come.
Oh,
Y'all come to see us when you can.
Well, hiya, folks. Here it is, another Thursday, and here we are back again for Dodge with a song and a story. You heard part of the song just now. It's called Y'all Come, and that's just exactly the invitation I sent out to all of our friends in Southern California when we returned to the good old Double R Bar Ranch after being in Europe and traveling around so much. Yep, I decided to give a party one Sunday evening, a kind of a combination barbecue and square dance.
Third bow and swing, lead right out to the
We
center
were
of the
all
ring.
having a swell time. Dale was calling a square dance, and I was about to join in when Pat walked up.
Hey, Roy,
somebody wants you on the telephone.
Thanks, Pat.
Right and left through, then turn back. Chain the ladies in the center of the floor.
Hello?
Roy Rogers?
Yes?
Listen close, Roy. There's a time bomb planted where it'll take care of Dale Evans unless you do exactly as I tell you.
What?
A time bomb. The kind that goes tick-tock, tick-tock, and then boom. Know what I mean?
Who is this?
Never mind. You get $25,000 in small old bills. I'll contact you later and tell you where to leave it.
Wait a minute.
When you give me the 25 grand, I'll tell you where the bomb is. If you don't get me the money, tick-tock, tick-tock, boom, goodbye, Dale. Understand?
Yes.
Smart boy. You gonna play ball, smart boy?
Yes, I'll play ball.
In just a moment, we'll return to Roy and Dale in part one of tonight's story. Now, folks, here are the Mellow Men.
There's a better deal for the man at the wheel of a Dodge top-rated truck. It delivers the goods anytime, anywhere.
Choose the 6 or V8, you've got power to spare.
Dodge is rugged and handsome, it's all brand new. Dodge is priced so low, you say. There's a better deal for the man at the wheel of a Dodge top-rated truck. Drive it today.
Yes, folks, new Dodge job-rated trucks really do mean a better deal for the man at the wheel. For instance, only Dodge trucks offer new Power Dome V8s, plus famous Thrifty 6s. The fact is, new Power Dome V8s are more powerful than any comparable mass-produced truck V8. That's because exclusive design dome-shaped combustion chambers squeeze more power from every drop of fuel and cut fuel and maintenance bills at the same time. Road test a new Power Dome V8 for yourself. See your dependable Dodge truck dealer tomorrow. And now back to Roy Rogers and Dale Evans in part one of tonight's story.
Lady in the lead, Indian style.
Folks,
You make go
folks,
feel
just a
the
minute.
wire spinning wheel.
I'm sorry to interrupt the party. Just a minute, please. Folks, I'm awfully sorry, but I'm going to have to ask you all to leave.
What happened?
Well, just a minute now. Something's come up. I can't explain it now, but you'll be doing me a big favor if you'll just go quietly without asking questions.
Roy, what on earth has happened?
One thing I can promise you that we're going to have this party again. And next time, I hope we'll all be able to finish it.
Roy, what is it?
Pat. Yeah, Roy. Pat, stay with Dale a minute. I'll be right back.
Sure.
City Hall.
Connect me with Chief of Detectives Thad Brown, please. Have they all gone?
Yes, that was the last car. Now, Roy, will you please tell me what this is all about?
Dale, I'd like to tell you, but, this is one time when I just can't.
You can't?
That's right. It's something that's come up and kind of sudden, and, it's so secret I can't even tell you.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
You do?
Can I guess?
Well, sure.
You've been called by one of the government agencies in Washington to work on something that's top secret.
Yeah, you sure guessed it, Dale. I never could keep anything a secret from you.
I'm glad, Roy, because I know how much you want to help our country. And I know how much you can help, too. Well, I'll just say good night then.
Dale.
Yes?
Dale, I hope you won't mind, but, I want to ask a favor of you.
Well, sure, Roy, anything.
I want you to go to the bedroom in the west wing and lock yourself in.
Lock myself in?
Don't ask questions now, Dale. Just do as I say, please.
All right, Roy, if you say so.
Thanks.
How long should I stay there?
I'll let you know, but don't come out until I come for you.
Gosh, Roy, you're acting awfully mysterious. Are you sure this isn't some kind of a joke?
It's no joke, Dale. It's serious. Very serious.
Then I want to help.
No.
But, Roy, I've always helped in the past, or at least I've tried to.
You have helped, Dale, but this time you can't. There's one other thing.
Yes?
We're going to have a guest staying overnight, a lady. I'd like her to stay with you.
Who is she, Roy?
Well, she's a friend of Thad Brown's.
The chief of the detective bureau?
That's right. Now, will you please go upstairs?
Okay, Roy, if you say so. But I hope someday you'll tell me what this is all about.
Someday I will.
You want me to answer the door, Roy?
No, I'll get it, Pat.
Well, now, who'd be calling this time of night?
Hello, Roy.
Oh, hi, Thad. Come in.
This is Officer Larks, Roy Rogers.
How do you do, Mr. Rogers?
Hello, Miss Larks. Dale's upstairs in a room in the west wing. I haven't told her about the phone call. I was hoping we could keep it from her and, till it's all over.
Well, I understand, Roy.
I'll try to evade the issue, Mr. Rogers. Now, would you like to show me the way?
I'll have Pat take you up. Pat?
Yeah, Roy.
Pat, this is Chief Brown and Officer Larks.
How do you do, Pat?
How do you do?
Hi.
Show Miss Larks up to where Dale is, will you?
Sure. Just follow me, ma'am.
Yes, thank you.
Roy, has he called again?
No, not yet.
Well, where's the telephone extension in case he does?
There's one in the kitchen and one upstairs where Dale is.
Good.
That's it.
Now, give me a chance to get to the kitchen before you answer.
Right. Hello?
Roy,
Yes.
you ready for instructions?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, listen carefully. Tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock, you'll walk into your bank and draw out $25,000 in small old bills. From the bank, you'll drive up Western Avenue to Los Feliz Boulevard. Stay on Los Feliz until you reach the turnoff into Griffith Park. Got it?
Yes, Los Feliz to the turnoff into Griffith Park.
Smart boy. You know the Wilson Golf Course in the park?
Yes, I think so.
On the south side, the road parallels a second green. Drive slowly down this road until you see a signal. You got it?
Yes.
Now remember, go directly to the park from the bank. It shouldn't take you over 20 minutes.
All right.
You just keep on schedule tomorrow and everything will be fine. Just fine, smart boy.
Boy, Dale's sure curious about what's happening, Roy. And I'd kind of like to know what's going on, too.
I'll tell you, Pat, just as soon as I can.
Well, we're monitoring all incoming calls, Roy. I'll get a report on that one in a minute.
Monitoring calls? How come?
Answer it, Roy.
Okay. Hello? No, this is Roy Rogers. I'll call him. It's for you, Thad.
Oh, thanks. Brown speaking.
Roy, I wish you'd tell me what...
Quiet, Pat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's something. Check with me later. I'll be here.
Well?
Well, I traced the call, Roy. It came from a payphone in a drive-in on Ventura Boulevard. However, he left the drive-in before our men could get there, but we did get a description of the car he's driving. It's a black coupe with a large dent in the right front fender.
I see. Well, what do I do now, Thad?
Exactly as he instructed. We'll have the entire area near the golf course covered tomorrow. If he shows up for the meet, we'll get him.
Thad, are you sure Dale will be safe here with me gone?
The grounds are covered, and Miss Larks is with her.
I know, but what good can that do? The man said the time bomb was already planted.
Time bomb?
You hit the nail right on the head, Roy.
What do you mean?
Time bombs must explode within a limited number of hours, and they must be planted. So if we can keep Dale away from her usual surroundings until the bomb explodes, she'll be safe. Well, you'd better get it, Roy. I'll listen in from the kitchen.
Right. Hello?
Roy?
Yes.
It's me again, Roy. Just want to give you a little tip, smart boy.
Yes?
No tricks tomorrow.
Tricks?
No cops. If there's so much as one cop near the meet, I won't show. And if I don't show, you won't know where the bomb is, will you?
No, I won't.
And Roy, I'm real good with a rifle. I'll get her anyway if you try to be too smart.
Wait a minute. Don't hang up.
Having time, smart boy. See you tomorrow.
Roy, what's the matter?
Thad.
I heard him.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
I think it's time we call Dale in. Let her decide.
There's no need to call me, Mr. Brown.
Dale, what are you doing down here?
My curiosity got the better of me, Roy. I listened to that last phone call on the extension upstairs. There's nothing to decide, Mr. Brown. I want you to go ahead with your original plan. Cover Griffith Park tomorrow.
In just a moment, we'll return to Roy and Dale in the second part of tonight's story. Do you know how little it costs to step up to a big, beautiful 54 Dodge? The answer may surprise you. Actually, you can buy a brand new Dodge for only a few dollars more than the lowest priced car on the market. Yes, Dodge, with its big car performance, big car luxury, big car value, is the lowest priced V8 in its field. And what a bargain in economy and performance. See and drive the long, low 54 Dodge at your nearby Dodge dealers. By every standard, every comparison, the dependable 54 Dodge is your best new car buy. See it tomorrow. And now back to Roy Rogers and Dale Evans in part 2 of tonight's story.
Roy, you will be careful this morning, won't you? You won't take any unnecessary chances.
I'll be careful, Dale.
Bullet knows you're going for a ride, Roy. He wants to go.
Not this time, Bullet.
Oh, I wish I could do something, Roy. I just feel so helpless.
You can help, Dale, just by staying inside and doing what Miss Larks tells you to.
Morning, Miss Evans.
Morning, Thad.
Well, Roy, it's 10:30. Time you were leaving for the bank.
Yep, I'm ready.
This is Sergeant Powers, Roy.
How do you do? How do you do?
I've assigned him to ride with you. He'll be out of sight down on the floor in the back seat of your car. Another car will be following you, but it'll be some distance back.
Thad, suppose something happens before I reach the park.
Sergeant Powers has a 3-way radio with him. He'll be able to keep us informed of your progress as well as listen in to my instructions to the other cars.
I see.
Now, Roy, whatever you do, don't worry. Don't tense up. We've got the park well covered. We'll be with you every second of the way.
Sergeant Powers.
Still here, Roy. Powers to Brown.
Go ahead, Powers.
We're on Western Avenue near Los Feliz.
Good. Let me know when you turn out of Los Feliz.
Right. Roy.
Yes?
How did it go in the bank? Any trouble getting the money?
No, they had it already, like you said they would.
Good. Those small old bills you're carrying are right out of the Federal Reserve Bank. We got a list of the serial numbers.
You people think of everything, don't you?
We try to. Where are we now?
Just turning off Western onto Los Feliz.
It's exactly 12 minutes after 11. We're right on schedule.
Brown to Unit 19 and Unit 28. Cover the Vermont entrance to the park.
Powers to Brown.
Go ahead, Powers.
Turning into Los Feliz now.
Right.
That's funny.
What's that?
That car behind us.
What car?
It's been following us ever since we left the bank. It's right behind us now. I pulled over to let him pass, but he won't do it.
What kind of a car is it?
Can't tell for sure. It's a black coupe.
Take a close look at the right front fender.
Yeah, it's got a big dent in it. Powers, he's pulling up alongside. He's cutting in front of us. He's flagging me down.
Powers to Brown.
Okay, Powers.
Suspect's car intersecting. Close in. Close in. Roy, what's happening?
Well, he stopped his car up ahead. Now he's getting out. He's walking back here.
Hello, smart boy. Got a package for me?
Yeah.
Here! Oh,
hold him, Roy.
Go, you fool! You'll never save her now.
We'll see about that.
Okay, Roy. Okay, that's enough. All right, mister. Lock your hands behind your head fast.
Where is it, mister? Where'd you put that bomb?
You're so smart boy. Find it yourself.
Roy, haven't they finished searching the house?
Not yet, Dale.
Well, I wish they'd hurry. I've got a dress for the Christian group meeting.
But you can't go tonight, Dale.
I haven't missed a Monday night meeting since we returned from Europe.
We better check with Officer Powers.
But, Roy, the bomb couldn't be planted at the meeting.
Hey, Roy, you don't suppose that polecat just said there was a bomb planted so you'd pay him off?
Well, it's possible, Pat. But as long as he hasn't talked, we've got to go on the assumption that there is a bomb.
Hi, Roy.
Hello,
Dale.
Officer.
Hello.
We're almost through inside, Roy. So far, we haven't found anything suspicious.
Officer Powers, wouldn't it be all right for me to attend the regular meeting of the Hollywood Christian group this evening?
Meeting? Well, I don't know. Where's it going to be held?
On Cherokee, in Hollywood, in Mrs. Williams' home.
Does the group always hold its meetings there?
Oh, no. This is the first time we've ever gone to Mrs. Williams.
Well, in that case, I think it'd be safe enough.
Mr. Powers, Pat thinks maybe that the extortionist was bluffing about having planted a time bomb.
I don't think so, Roy.
Really? Well, why are you so sure?
We checked the prisoner through R&I. His name's Donegan. He was a demolition specialist with the OSS during the war.
Well, there goes Dale to the meeting, Roy.
It's 8 o'clock. She'd better hurry. She'll be late.
Oh, meeting's at 8:30, huh?
That's right. Well, I guess we can relax. You hungry, Pat?
Yeah, come to think of it, I am.
Me too. I'll get it. Hello?
Hi, Roy. Thad Brown.
Yes, Thad.
Well, we finally got Donegan to talk. Had to trick him to do it, but we learned that there is a bomb and when it's set to go off.
When?
In just 20 minutes. You better get out of the house.
20 minutes?
That's right. Donegan seemed pretty sure Dale would be killed. He even seemed to know Dale's usual routine.
Oh?
Tell me, where is Dale every Monday night at 8:20, Roy?
Well, in her car on the way to the Christian group meeting.
I see. Well, then...
Pat, come on.
Roy, what is it?
We've got to catch her, Pat. We've got to.
Roy, look out!
What time is it?
7 minutes after 8.
Oh, I should have known. We all thought the bomb was planted in our house, stationary.
Better not talk, Roy. Just drive. Now the freeway's right ahead. Once we're on it, we can make better time.
We We haven't passed her, have we?
No, I'm sure we haven't. Now, you better get over to the right, Roy. We gotta go down Highland and then cut over to Cherokee.
Yeah, I know. Pat, do you know the street number of the house where they were holding the meeting?
What?
Mrs. Williams' house number. Do you know it?
Well, no. Don't you, Roy?
No, I don't. What time is it now?
8:15. Roy?
I know, Pat. We're doing everything we can.
Roy, there she is. There's Dale's car. She just turned on Cherokee.
Yeah. I'll get her. I've got to.
There she is, Roy.
I'll cut in front of her car.
Dale! Dale, pull over! Hey, she sees me, Roy. She's stopping. Dale, get out of the car.
What?
The bomb, it's somewhere in your car. Get out. Run, Dale, and take those people with you.
Roy, where are you going?
The car can't stay here. Somebody might get hurt.
Roy!
8:19. Vacant lot. This ought to do it.
Roy, that was a wonderful thing you did, driving the car away so those innocent people wouldn't be hurt.
Well, I think it was just plumb crazy. Roy, you knew that bomb was set to go off at 8:20?
I know, Pat, but I had to take a chance that maybe Donegan's watch was a little slow. It was, about 30 seconds slow.
Roy, suppose Donegan's watch had been fast.
Oh, well, in that case... Ew.
Roy, there's still a couple of things I don't understand.
Like what?
Well, how did Thad Brown get Donegan to talk and tell him where the bomb was and what time it was going to go off?
He tricked him, Dale. He put one of his detectives into Donegan's cell disguised as a prisoner. This detective had some comic books with him.
Comic books?
That's right.
What kind of comic books?
Now, what kind of comic books would you think, Pat?
Oh, I don't know. They wouldn't be by any chance, some Roy Rogers comic book.
That's right, Pat. When Donegan saw them, he just couldn't resist blowing off his mouth. He wanted to let the other prisoner know what a big man he was.
Well, great jumping catfish. That was sure a stupid thing to do.
Sure, but Thad Brown counted on Donegan being stupid. Can you think of any other type of person who would try such a stunt?
That's right, Pat. Criminals aren't smart. They just think they are.
You can say that again.
Just one more thing, Roy.
Yeah?
When did this Donegan fellow plant the bomb under the car?
Sunday morning while you were at church. You see, he made a study of your habits, Dale. He knew that you always go to church on Sunday and that you always have a meeting of the Christian group on Monday. And, well, maybe you ought to change your habits a little.
Oh, no, Roy. I may vary them from time to time, but I'll never change.
Good girl. And now, what do you say we call up all of our friends and continue that party where we left off? When you live out in the country, everybody is your neighbor. On this one thing you can rely. They all come to see you, and they never leave you saying, y'all come to see us by and by. Y'all come, y'all come, y'all come, y'all come. Oh, y'all come to see us when you can. Y'all come, y'all come, y'all come, y'all come, y'all come. Oh, y'all come to see us now and then.
The kinfolks are a-comin', they're a-comin' by the dozen, eatin' everything from soup to hay. And right after dinner, they ain't looking any thinner, and here's what you hear them say. Y'all come, y'all come, y'all come,
Oh, y'all come to see us when you can.
Y'all come.
Y'all come.
Y'all come.
Y'all come.
Y'all come.
Oh, y'all come to see us now and then.
Y'all come.
Now, Benny's got a fiddle, hoe cakes on the griddle, and Honest Abe will play the old trombone. Georgie, he's cornetting, but on the bass I'm betting, and Bud's a-playing on the accordion. Y'all come.
Y'all come.
Y'all come.
Y'all come.
Oh, y'all come to see us when you can.
Y'all come.
Y'all come now, you
Y'all
hear?
come.
Y'all come.
Y'all come.
Oh, y'all come to see us now and then.
Y'all come.
Now Grandma's a-wishing that they'd come out to the kitchen and help to do the dishes right away.
The lazy things.
But they all start a-leaving, even though she's a-grieving. Well, you can still hear Grandma say, y'all come,
Y'all come.
y'all come,
Y'all come.
oh, y'all come to see us when you can.
Y'all come.
Y'all come,
Y'all come.
y'all come,
Y'all come.
oh,
Y'all come to see us now and then.
Y'all come now and drive that pretty little red Dodge.
Come and see us now and then.
Maybe you folks saw an old film on television that showed the first African expedition in which automobiles were driven all the way from Cairo to Cape Town. You saw those Dodge cars take the beating of their lives through some of the wildest country anybody ever saw. It was sort of funny looking at that old film to see the styles they had in those days and to know how pretty the new Dodge for 54 looks today. But those old cars and the new 54 Dodge sure have one thing in common. They had big hearts, plenty of power, and they were made by real craftsmen who knew what they were doing. You'll know that when you see the new 54 Dodge. Underneath that smart, modern styling and those sweeping thoroughbred lines is sound, solid, honest workmanship that delivers everything a good car ought to have for easy, comfortable, enjoyable driving. Things like Dodge full-time power steering. Not part-time, mind you, but full-time power steering so that you end up a day of driving fresh as a daisy. That's just one of the things that makes Dodge a car that you can be proud to own. See your Dodge Plymouth dealer soon. You'll be glad you did. And if you're looking for a good used car, see the first choice used cars on your Dodge dealer's lot. They're tops. Well, that does it for tonight, folks. See you next Thursday, same time. Until then, goodbye, good luck, and may the good Lord take a liking to you.
Happy trails with Dodge, the car that gives you more.
The Roy Rogers Radio Show is produced under the supervision of Art Rush and directed by Ralph Rose. Tonight's story was written by Ralph Rose and Charles Smith. Music arranged and conducted by Frank Worth. Production assistant Virginia White. Tonight's all-star cast included Pat Brady, The Mellow Men, Joan Banks, Vic Perrin, Jack Crucian, and Paul McGuire. Join us again next Thursday evening at this same time when the dependable Dodge Plymouth dealer in your neighborhood will again bring you the transcribed Roy Rogers Radio Show. This is Lou Crosby speaking for the man who sells and services Dodge job-rated trucks and the elegant new 54 Dodge.
"71 years ago, July 1st, 1954, Roy Rogers on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. You notice the chief of detectives named Thad Brown? Yeah, they also use that name over on Dragnet, too. Thad Brown, in fact, a well-known Los Angeles detective. He would eventually become chief of police. There's a little factoid put in the back of your head. Another factoid you should put in the front of your head is to visit our webpage at classicradio.stream. Would love to hear from you, and if you want to buy me a copy, that would be great, too. All right, let's roll on with an episode of Wanted.
We are the vocal parents of the local PTA. We're gathered here because we fear that 10 years from today, the younger generation of a growing population will look to us for leadership, will look at us and say, We have no alma maters, with or without swimming pools. We have no alma maters, because we have no schools.
Our children are growing faster than our schools. And 10 years from today, conditions may become desperate unless we do something about it now. If you'd like to do something constructive about it now, write to Better Schools, 9 East 40th Street, New York 16, New York.
We can have the schools we need 10 years from today.
Okay, Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues now with what was a dramatically new concept at the time, a fully edited show with all sorts of different pieces. Wanted didn't work as well as it should have worked because you had all these pieces to be brought in on a show, and it's a remarkable concept for a show, and it would work well today. The problem is, back then, technology wasn't quite ready for it. Let's listen to this episode of Wanted from 75 years ago, July 1st, 1950, in the story of Willie, the Actor Sutton.
Wanted! Wanted for armed robbery! This is the program that brings you for the first time on the air a nationwide manhunt in action. The actual facts to date of a man wanted. From the record, hear the on-the-spot reports of the people involved. Nothing is withheld, no one is protected. Here are the dramatic eyewitness accounts of a man wanted. Wanted for armed robbery.
And now, Alan Hind, America's foremost recorder of the criminal scene.
Good evening. Tonight and every week at this same time, you and I are going on a manhunt. We're going to trace the career of a wanted man through the actual eyewitnesses involved, through innocent bystanders, through the friends and relatives of victims, and through the police officers who have worked and who are now working on the case. The voices you will hear are those of actual people involved, speaking to you from actual locales involved. They are putting themselves on the spot to give you first-hand information about a man who is wanted. A few weeks ago, one of the most daring daylight robberies in the annals of modern crime crashed into the headlines. The criminals were no strangers to the police. Their leader is wanted, and has been wanted, off and on, for 20 years. Today, he is the hottest fugitive in this country, and believe me, you may be his next victim. So listen, here are the facts.
The date, October 29th, 1930. The location, M. Rosenthal and Sons, a jewelry shop on Broadway in the Capitol Theater building, the heart of New York City.
The voices you hear next are those of the actual people who, through no fault of their own, are involved in the case of FBI number 241884. First, a 68-year-old man.
I was a porter for M. Rosenthal and Son. One morning, a postal messenger came to the door with a telegram for my firm. I went to the door, received the telegram. He handed me a paper saying, "Sign here, please." I took the paper, signed it, handed back to him. At the same time, he pushed a gun in my stomach and says, "Back, back." I backed back. He came in and he said, "Stand still. My partner will be in just a moment." A few seconds later, his partner came in, a smartly dressed businessman with a fall overcoat, a gray hat, gray kid gloves, and a black bag. Then they put me in behind the showcase. He took out a box of picture wire, placed it around my left leg, and started to play it out. In the meantime, the messenger said, "Just do what you're told, and you will not be hurt. We know what we came in here for, and we're going to get it." They played the wire so I could walk across the floor, allowing me room enough to come from there to the door, with the businessman holding the other end of the wire. They asked me what time the employees came in, and I said around 9 o'clock. The first employee to show in was Mr. Charles F. Hayes.
My name is Charles Hayes. On the morning I arrived at the store, I was greeted by the porter.
And suddenly a gun was stuck in my back, and I was asked to sit down, and my hands were tied with a wire, awaiting the arrival of Mr. Fox, who had the combination of the safe.
I'm Julius Fox, a salesman at Rosenthal's. When I arrived, I was greeted by a postal telegraph messenger. He told me this was a stick-up. He says, just be quiet and we won't harm you. He then told me to go to the safe to open it. I went to the safe, but being that I very seldom use the combination, I told the porter I don't remember it. So they then tied me up, and they told the porter to call Mr. Rosenthal at home to get the combination.
My name is Joe Rosenthal. I was awakened early one morning by the phone ringing, and when I answered it, my porter was on the phone asking me for the combination of the safe. I was so disgusted with the idea of their having to call me for that I gave it to him twice. I then went in to have my breakfast, and something dawned on me rather strangely, and I called back on the phone. And when I did, the police were already there, and my salesman informed me that we were robbed of $130,000.
This is Captain McVeigh, the New York City Police Department main office squad. Received a call of a robbery in M. Rosenthal and Sons jewelry store. Went down to investigate. Found out it was a well-planned job. Number one, there was gloves worn because there was no fingerprints. Two, they had known all about the burglar alarm system in the store, which they avoided. Three, of the two safes was in there, they know which one to go to. But we had a good description of both men.
The job was to find two unidentified men in a city of 7 million. Police reasoned these men were experienced operators, so they searched the files looking for jobs done in a similar pattern. They came up with 8. 8 jobs, 1 pattern, no solution. That was lead number 1, and it pointed nowhere. The second lead came from the postal telegraph uniform worn by one of the crooks.
My name is Anthony Lanzell. I'm with the Eves Costume Company. We furnish costumes for all occasions, masquerade and so on. A man came in one day and asked for a messenger boy's uniform. So I found a postal messenger's uniform, and I packed it up for him, and he paid me $10 the rental of the uniform and $15 deposit. He handed me a card marked J.R. Hancock, the Waverly School of Drama, 507 Fifth Avenue.
Mr. J.R. Hancock at 507 Fifth Avenue was a mailing address.
Dead end? No. Mr. J.R. Hancock had appeared at that office just once when he rented it, and he had been in the company of an unforgettable red-haired young lady. Note, New York is full of blondes and brunettes, but redheads are scarce. Armed with descriptions of 2 men and a redhead, detectives spread out, covering greater New York. Then, a real break.
I don't know if this will help you, mister, but 2 postal telegraph messengers were stopped by a man who wanted to borrow their uniforms. He sounds like the man you're looking for. Interesting thing, both of the boys were stopped on West End Avenue. Matter of fact, the 500 block.
The 500 block of West End Avenue was staked out. Object, 1 redhead. Days of legwork, thousands of questions, and a few answers.
Yeah, I seen a redhead who looks like her somewhere around here.
Why, the girl you mean lives 3 houses down from here.
Well, you'll find her tonight at Child's Restaurant over on 73rd Street.
My name is John Vialli. I was relief manager at Child's Restaurant at 73rd Street and Broadway. That evening, about 7 p.m., a pretty red-headed girl came in with a dark-haired young man who seemed to be a little nervous. About 10 minutes later, 2 detectives came out from the service entrance and tapped him on his shoulder and said, "Come along with me," and that's all I know.
That arrested man was Willie Sutton. William Sutton, a name familiar to the police. They looked up his record.
Arrested 5 times. The first 2 charges were dismissed due to youth as defendant. 3rd arrest, homicide, Sutton was acquitted. The 4th charge, burglary, sentenced 5 to 10 years, paroled after serving 4. On his most recent arrest, he was picked up for possession of burglary tools. For that, he spent 1 day in the city jail.
Now William Sutton was booked for the Rosenthal robbery and placed in the lineup. The witnesses were called in and...
Sure, that's the fellow in the postal uniform.
Yep, that's the one that held the gun.
Absolutely, he's the man.
Identification confirmed. In short order, police picked up Sutton's accomplice in Buffalo, and he confessed. They got the book. 30 years in Sing Sing. Now Sutton was safely behind bars. But he formed a prison partnership with a hulking burglar named John Egan. On December 12, 1932, prison officials announced,
Convicts William Sutton and John Egan are wanted by this institution for jailbreak.
William Sutton and John Egan had crashed out of the escape-proof wing of Sing Sing. Now Sutton had priority attention of police departments throughout the nation. Police began developing information. Soon they got a line on Egan, and they found him.
Egan was murdered. Somebody had filled him full of lead.
Sutton was suspected, but with Egan's death, Sutton's trail came to an end. Then Sutton made his whereabouts known.
New York City. On the morning of July 9th, 1933, the 110th Street branch of a Corn Exchange Bank was robbed of $23,835. One of the hold-up men was disguised as a captain of police. January 15th, 1934, the West Philadelphia branch of the Corn Exchange Bank was robbed of $21,000. The bandits timed the job to avoid all burglar alarms.
2 bank heists, and in both, the unmistakable Sutton trademark was evident. Out of the New York and Philly jobs, police had one clue, a piece of paper found on the floor of the Corn Exchange Bank.
This is Captain John J. Hanlon, Philadelphia Police Department. In making the investigation, we found a small portion of an automobile registration card. It was not much to go by other than it contained several words of handwriting. The card was then sent to the Automobile Registration Bureau, where the writing was compared with 28,000 cards in the files of the Automobile Bureau. And as a result of the check made, we learned that the card belonged to Ed Wilson, from which we learned his automobile license number.
Ed Wilson. That name had a familiar ring to New York police. They checked. Wilson, small-time hoodlum, robber, gun punk. Where did he fit in? Was he one of the 2 men with Sutton on the New York and Philly jobs? Police got a line on Wilson, and according to our reconstruction of the facts...
Ed Wilson. Sure, he's around town. You won't find him with his wife and family. He's laying low, hiding out in Yonkers. I heard tell of he's driving into New York on Sunday night with that girl.
Sure, Wilson and Nina were planning on a big time. They were headed for Broadway. But on 262nd Street, a squad car spotted his license plate and tailed him into town. The police tried to force Wilson to the curb. The dope got panicky and tried to knock off 5 cops.
At Broadway and 240th Street, New York City, detectives Frank Phillips and Daniel Shee in self-defense fired, wounding one Ed Wilson in both eyes. No further resistance was offered.
Wilson thought he was dying and was willing to talk. Taken in for questioning, he admitted his part in the New York and Philly jobs. He implicated Sutton and one Joseph Perlongo. He didn't know where Sutton was, but he did give police Perlongo's Brooklyn address.
My name is Detective James E. Sheehy. I was attached to the West 47th Street Station House in New York City. The boys raided the Perlongo apartment. Perlongo was brought in. He wouldn't talk, but as a result of the search of his apartment, a letter was found, which letter was received from a Richard Courtney. This handwriting, after analysis, proved to be the handwriting of William Sutton. In the upper right-hand corner of this letter was found an address, 47th and Chester Avenues in Philadelphia. Our department notified the Philadelphia police.
Detective John J. Kelly, Shield number 1667, Detective Headquarters, Philadelphia. Upon our arrival at the apartment house at 47th and Chester Avenue, it was found that Mr. and Mrs. Richard Courtney, who in reality were Mr. and Mrs. Willie Sutton, were absent. Our commanding officer detailed a squad of detectives, including myself, to continue the surveillance from the adjoining apartment. At 5 o'clock that afternoon, the Suttons were observed to return. That was the signal for our descent upon their apartment. It was well that we had a concentrated force of men. Upon bursting into the apartment, it was found to be a veritable arsenal of weapons. 3 pistols, a submachine gun, a sawed-off shotgun, and a vast quantity of ammunition was found. In addition, concealed in Sutton's trunk was found the uniform of a captain of New York City Police, and in addition, the uniform of the United States mailman. For recreational purposes, no doubt, there was also found, among Willie's effects, a large, expensive set of golf clubs.
Willie, the actor, confessed to the Philadelphia bank job because he felt Pennsylvania would be easier on him than New York. He went to court looking for a light sentence. According to the court record, Judge Harry S. McDevitt ruled,
I will see that you are sentenced to spend the rest of your life in prison where you belong. I've been criticized by spineless men and weak-minded women for imposing the maximum sentence on such men as you. My answer to that criticism is that I will give you every day the law allows.
total sentence, 25 to 50 years of solitary confinement at Eastern State Penitentiary.
This is Warden Burke of the Eastern Penitentiary in Philadelphia. I think you can hear the prison band playing now. We have here at this institution a population of 1,100. I spent a day at Alcatraz prison. At that time, they had a population of 268. Out of the population of the Eastern State Penitentiary, we have at least 400, just as dangerous and vicious as they have at Alcatraz. And amongst them at one time was Willie Sutton, who has since left us. Now, Willie Sutton, while an inmate at the prison, never gave us any trouble. But at the same time, we knew Willie Sutton's mind, or at least we knew that Willie Sutton's mind was working, and working to one end, and that was to leave us, other than the right way. And I mean by the right way is going out the gate.
My name is Officer John Craig. I'm in charge of the 7th Cavalry, where William Sutton formerly locked. In this cell, the floor was formerly covered with wood. And one morning while making the inspection, I noticed the floorboard had been loose. When discovering this, I opened it, and underneath found a plaster Paris head made up identically like Willie Sutton. The head was covered with hair, which was no doubt gathered from the various barber shops, and the head was painted and was a very good likeness of William Sutton. I also found a arm under there, 3 crude bombs, a bunch of keys, and a revolver carved from a piece of wood. Of course, we sent out for Willie Sutton and placed him under arrest, and of course this broke up the attempted escape. But later on, another attempt was made by him, which was discovered by Officer Brown.
This is Officer Brown, guard Eastern State Penitentiary. One morning, I missed 11 men from my section. I went to the back of the block, and there in the cell, I saw a form in bed, which I thought was phony. Entered the cell, I ripped the covers from the bed. There was a phony body and a head made of plaster. And knowing the work of Willie Sutton, I knew this was the break. Looking around the cell, I saw a coat hanging on the wall. It looked out of place. This coat I ripped from the wall and found a large hole leading to a tunnel. I went down in the tunnel, and I found it was a narrow, slimy mud pit. These men had to crawl on their hands and knees, on their backs, and anyway, to wiggle out of that hole, which was 97 feet long. At the end of the tunnel, underneath the wall, was a pit of water, 8 feet across, with a high-tension line with electric lights dangling in the water. There was 3 inches of airspace separating the water and the wall. These men had to crawl and slide through this water to get their freedom on the other side of that wall. I then made my report to Major Tees.
Major Tees, Deputy Warden of the Eastern State Penitentiary. I received a report that there had been an escape made. I immediately notified the Philadelphia police and the state police. Within 25 minutes, we had Willie Sutton captured. Within a week, we had the entire group back into the prison. We found that Willie Sutton was too familiar with the Eastern State Penitentiary. We then had him transferred to the Philadelphia County Prison at Holmesburg.
Escape-proof Holmesburg. Slick Willie had been transferred because here was one penitentiary where he would be helpless. Holmesburg hadn't had an escape in 50 years. 2 years later, on the 10th of February, Sutton and 4 others crashed out. Again, Sutton was wanted. This time, police flooded the country with wanted bulletins. Lead after lead developed, but no payoff. Then on March 9th, 1950, in Sunnyside, Long Island, at 8:30 a.m., the New York police got their first definite lead on William Sutton.
My name is James Weston, a vault custodian for the Manufacturers Trust Company at 4711 Queens Boulevard. The morning of March the 9th, I came to work at 8:30. As I opened the door, I was rushed from the back. I thought it was somebody kidding, and I wrestled with him. He then stuck a gun in my ribs, ordered me to get inside, saying, "We're desperate." I then realized it was serious. I got inside. He then went back and admitted the other 2, locked the door. They then chained me with a chain around my ankle to the grill of the radiator inside the door. Ordered me to admit all employees as they came to the door, saying it'd be too bad if anybody turned away, not to use any signs. I did this for an hour and a quarter till all employees were admitted.
I work at Sunnyside. I thought it was rather unusual when the floor custodian was at the door. As a rule, he's never at the door. I always have to ring the bell, and then I stand there and say, "What's the idea of making me wait?" See, that's my usual routine with him, you know. I thought it was rather peculiar this morning. So as he opened the door, you know, that was his routine, to open the door. He had no alternative. He had to open it. And no sooner I entered the vestibule, see, we have a vestibule going into the bank, I was grabbed by my arm like this, see. And what I had thought is probably it was the auditors. See, we had the auditors there a couple of months before, and they were coming in, and something new has been added, you know. So I got inside, and I saw all these chairs lined up facing towards the wall of the cages. So I thought, yeah, it was rather funny. Not thinking any more of it, you know. I was sat down in the chair, and I sat there. So I was wondering why everybody was shaking, you know. It didn't enter my mind that what was transpiring during this here, during my coming in. So I sat there and watched everybody, and I saw them shake, their hands shaking, you know, of the other girls, not the boys, but the girls. So as I had turned my head this way, I was sitting this way, and I turned my head, and the fellow that was in back of us doing all the directing, I noticed his hand was like this, and he had a revolver in it. So immediately when I saw that, it entered my mind what was transpiring, and the assistant manager and teller number 1 had already opened the vault.
My name is James Brady. I'm the head teller Manufacturers Trust Company Sunnyside office. Mr. Sands and I were ordered to open up the safe, which I have part of the dual control. The bandit warned us that nobody had anything to lose but the insurance company. Inside the vault, I was ordered to give him nothing but the green stuff, which amounts to $63,933.29.
Once again, a polite little man with a gun left the Sutton trademark. So once again, police dug into official files for a photograph of Willie the actor. And once again, Slick Willie was identified. Based on the facts you've heard tonight and or other pertinent material,
the grand jury of the county of Queens, by this indictment, accused William Sutton of the crime of robbery in the first degree, committed as follows. The defendant in the county of Queens, on or about March 9, 1950, unlawfully took certain property, to wit, United States currency owned by the Manufacturers Trust Company.
it is not our function here to determine the guilt or innocence of a man, nor do we intend to. But by this indictment, this formal charge by society, William Sutton is wanted.
Here again is Alan Hind.
You can put the finger on Willie Sutton. All right? What are the facts about this character? What does he look like? How does he dress? What are his habits? These we will give you, but first, where does a hot can of corn like Sutton hide out?
My name is John Quigley. I'm employed in the Farm Colony Hospital, Staten Island, New York, as a plumber. In picking up a paper a couple of weeks ago, I discovered a photograph of a chap that was an old bedmate of mine at the name of Edward Lynch. Edward Lynch worked in the Farm Colony for 2.5 years, and a very fine, upright chap he was. A person who wallowed away at any time to lend a hand. And imagine, to my great surprise, to discover this photograph to be a photograph of one Willie Sutton, a bank robber.
John Quigley lived with the man alleged to be Willie Sutton for 2.5 years, and he never got wise. This could happen to anybody. It could happen to you. Willie the actor might be your next-door neighbor. You might be his next victim. How can you recognize him? Listen to your local announcer.
On page 16 of today's New York Daily Mirror, you will find a picture of William Sutton. Page 16 of today's New York Daily Mirror. If you know of or have any information which can lead the police to the hideout of William Sutton, do these 3 things. First, be sure of your facts. Don't accuse an innocent man. Second, dial operator and say, I want the police. Third, give your name and address clearly. Remember, page 16, today's New York Daily Mirror. And now back to Alan Hine.
If you should spot Sutton, don't go near him. He is branded by the FBI as highly dangerous, probably ready to shoot to kill. Now study Sutton's picture. Remember that face.
Sutton is 48 years old, height 5 feet 8 inches. He's a mild-looking, mild-mannered man. Hair dark brown, possibly gray. Eyes blue, complexion medium. The end of his little finger is scarred and deformed. Sutton may be wearing any number of disguises.
What kind of a man is William Sutton? Listen to a voice from the underworld.
Willie Sutton, he's some actor. This guy is crazy about his brown, wavy hair. And he's a very neat dresser. This guy can walk into a joint, lay $125 on the line for a suit, then rig a flower in his lapel, and on top of it, wear dark-tinted, horn-rimmed glasses. And boy, can this guy eat. He can walk into a ballpark, lay 5 to 10 frankfurters away in one shot. But this guy is hot. He can't be seen at ballparks, and he's nuts about the Dodgers, so you'll probably find him at television bars where he thinks nobody can know him. And let me tell you another thing about this guy who's pushing 48. He's got some twist. He's crazy about young, stupid, pretty broads. The younger they are, the better he likes them.
Those are the complete facts on William Sutton. Police know the Sutton pattern, and they've studied their man. They suspect him of several other jobs, including the $1,500,000 Brinks robbery in Boston. But to this date, they have absolutely no leads as to his present whereabouts.
Ladies and gentlemen, Willie Sutton must be brought to justice. Sutton has become, in these past 20 years, a legend, a dangerous legend. Willie the actor, clever, smart, too smart for the cops, too smart for any mere honest citizen. Willie the actor is slick, Slick Willie. That's the legend. Well, let's examine the facts. Just how slick is Slick Willie Sutton? He's spent almost 20 of the last 27 years in prison. With all his bank robbing, he's averaged less than $75 a week. He's lived like a hunted rat in constant danger of being shot down or stabbed in the back. That's slick? Not in my book. But Sutton is dangerous, so keep on the lookout. You, Mr. Average Citizen, you're a lot slicker, and you can put Sutton back where he belongs. Now, this is Alan Hine saying there is no time like now to wipe out crime.
Be with us next week when you will hear the eyewitness accounts of Edward Sadowski. Wanted. Wanted for murder.
All material heard on tonight's program was factual, from the record. The voices of the late Captain McVeigh and the late Joseph Rosenthal were impersonated. Alan Hines' latest study in crime can be read in this month's issue of True, the magazine for men. Tonight's report was written by P.L. Mayer. Music was by Morris Pomorsky. The narrator was Fred Collins. Wanted was directed by Walter McGraw, supervised for NBC by James Kovac, and produced by McGraw Associates.
July 1st, 1950, Wanted, a show with a lot of prospects, but it only lasted, I think, during the summer months. Didn't quite go as well as NBC would have liked. 75 years ago, July 1, 1950. Up next, Peg Lynch, Alan Bunce, The Couple Next Door.
If your daily routine never varies, chances are you're heading for a great big case of monotony. Everybody needs a break once in a while, and sometimes a vacation just once or twice a year isn't enough. But a break once a week would more than fill the bill. What could you do with that leisure time? Here's the answer to that. You can vary your routine with a fascinating and vital pursuit, spotting planes for America's Ground Observer Corps. It's exciting, it's interesting, and just 2 hours a week of your spare time is all that's needed to keep up the 24-hour schedule of the GOC. Men and women from teenage up can help the Air Corps cover the blind spots in our radar system by volunteering for the Ground Observer Corps, a civilian component of the Air Defense Command. You'll be trained and supervised by officers and airmen of the Air Defense Command to spot planes in your area. Find out from your local civilian defense office how you can be a civilian ground observer.
All right, let's check in to Peg Lynch and Alan Bunce in an episode of The Couple Next Door from 65 years ago today, July 1st, 1960.
CBS Radio brings you The Couple Next Door, written by Peg Lynch and starring Peg Lynch and Alan Bunce.
I found your car keys.
Oh, fine, thank you.
They were on the mantel. What are you doing?
Drinking my coffee.
I caught you.
Caught me what? What are you talking about?
Honestly, I leave the breakfast table for 2 minutes, and what happens? You tiptoed over to the refrigerator and got some butter for your toast.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
I saw you hastily pop the rest of your toast in your mouth as I came out, and you look very guilty. Let me see if there's butter on your knife. Let me see it.
Here it is. There, see? Clean.
You wiped it off.
Now, look, if you're going to watch me every second like the Gestapo and put me through a 3rd degree... Look, Annie, let's give up this diet.
No. We've been very good for 9 days. Now let's keep at it, dear.
Oh, I'm so sick of it. All right. Now, look, though, try to plan something for dinner, will you, that's very good and not fattening so I can eat a lot of it because I am so darn hungry.
All right, dear. I'll try to think of something. Come in, Ann. I'm just fixing some lemonade to cool off.
I just drove over to see what you knew about this weekend fishing trip.
I don't know anything. What weekend fishing trip?
Well, I just think that our husbands are planning to go off fishing.
They are? Why, nothing was said to me.
Well, nothing was said to me either. I overheard Jack talking on the phone. I didn't say anything to him because he gets mad when I ask him why can't the wives go along.
Sure.
He always says, well, nobody else is taking his wife. So I thought maybe if we wives get together...
Well, this is certainly news to me.
I don't know why we're always left out. Jack always says, well, I'd love to take you, dear, but the rest of the guys decided no wives, so I can't ask you. Well, I think they get together and just decide that's what they're all going to say, and it makes me kind of mad.
Well, I am flabbergasted. I hadn't heard one word about it.
Now, why should they go off for a weekend and have a wonderful time and leave us behind as usual to take care of the children?
Yes. Why can't we all go and take the children? They would love it.
Jack talked to Fred and to Tom Ferris, too.
Oh.
So why don't we call Eleanor and Jane and see what they think? I think we wives should get together for an emergency conference.
Hi, for Pete's sakes. What's all this pile of stuff in the front hall?
Hi there, Ma. You're home early. Well, I just thought I'd get things lined up so you could start putting things in the car if we're going to leave early in the morning. Tent's all ready to go, too. Camp cots, mosquito netting, thermos jugs, and all that. What's the matter? Didn't you plan a weekend fishing trip? Ann dropped over this afternoon and said you and Jack and Fred and Tom had planned a nice weekend for us. So Eleanor and Jane came over, too, and we thought we'd better get organized. I mean, really, dear, you know, it's sweet of you. It really is to want to surprise me, darling. But after this, I mean, I'd rather you told me, because I do like a little more time to make preparations on it.
Okay, cut out the act. I was going to tell you about the fishing trip, but the truth is I forgot about it myself. Look, Jack said something about it last week, and I said, oh, sure, fine, and then I forgot about it. Jack called me at the office and said the guys were planning to meet for lunch to make plans, and look, I meant to call you when I got back to the office. Then I got tied up with the boss,
Well, it's all right, dear. I think it's a marvelous idea. I'd love to get away, and the children will adore it.
The children?
Yeah, they
Oh,
love...
no, look, sweetheart,
What?
Well, honey, to begin with, I mean, I'd love to take you. You know that, but the guys decided no wives.
Why?
Well, I don't know.
Why do you men always want to get away from your wives? Are we so terrible? I mean, is it...
Look, honey, why do we have to go through this every time I want to get away with a few of the fellas to go fishing? I mean, it's got nothing to do with my loving you or wanting to get away from you.
Why is it so much fun? I'm just being with a bunch of men, and if it's so much fun, why do you want to do your wives out of all the fun?
All right, I'll call Jack and tell him I'm not going. It just isn't worth all this nonsense.
All right. Well, go on. Call him.
Oh, look, honey, can't you see that if we take our wives and our kids, I mean, that's 4 cars and about 16 people. Look, we plan to drive 275 miles up to Mallard Lake. We never even get there until dark tomorrow. I mean, we were going to leave at 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, you know darn well it's just impossible to get 16 people, half of them children, started off somewhere at 4 o'clock in the morning. I mean, it'll be 7 or 8 o'clock by the time we get going. And then we have to stop 100 times at restrooms or get lollipops or strawberry pop. Driving that far on a hot day, probably half the kids would be car sick.
I know. As you said, dearie, it's nonsense to even think of going.
Well, look, honey, I mean, well, why do you want to go? I mean, you know, you hate sleeping in a tent. I'll bet you Ann Lundell put you up to this, didn't she? Huh? Didn't she?
Well, she's right.
Ah.
And then the other wives want to go, too. Eleanor and Jane and Ann, they were furious you'd all planned not to take us. And since you were siding with the husbands, I had to side with the wives, didn't I?
Yeah, well, how about siding with me instead?
Look, I'm kind of mad at you for not telling me. It isn't like you at all. It really isn't, dear.
Honey, I know, and I am sorry. I really am. I did forget. Honestly, I tell you, since we started on this darn diet, I can't think of anything but food.
I know.
Food.
Well, what did you mean I should side with you?
Well, now, honey, listen, you know you have got more sense than Eleanor or Jane or Ann put together.
Don't soft soap me now.
Oh, no, honey, I mean it. Now, don't just answer me something. Do you really get jealous and mad if I enjoy going somewhere and doing something like fishing or bowling or playing golf without you?
No, I really don't. I'm glad you have a good time.
Yeah, now, see, that's what I mean. Jane and Eleanor and Ann, they're all possessive wives. If they had their way, they'd keep their husbands on a leash.
All right, don't go on. I'm a wonderful wife. What do you want me to do? I thought so. Well, honey, if I call them and tell them I don't want to go, which is really true, they'll think I'm a traitor. But for you, I'll do it. Go on, get out your fishing flies and start babbling ecstatically over them. I'll call the girls and see what happens.
Look at this one. Isn't that a beauty, a brown hackle? I just tied it. This is a golden spinner. Huh? See? Nice,
Yes. Well, happy birthday.
Happy birthday? What do you mean? This is not my birthday.
I know, but this weekend is your birthday present.
What do you mean?
A fishing trip with 3 of your men friends, and I'm paying the travel expenses. That's what I told their wives.
Why? I still don't know what you mean.
I didn't want to tell the other wives. I'm just plain backing out. So I said I'd asked you what you wanted for your birthday some time ago. I forgot that you had said you'd like a fishing trip with 3 of your pals. So, since I'm paying your travel expenses, gas and oil and so forth out of my allowance, well, they got the idea. I mean, I certainly couldn't be expected to pay travel expenses for 16 people, you know. You're
smart girl, I tell you. I have got one brilliant wife.
Well, you just better appreciate me. And here's the money.
No. Look, the guys are all sharing expenses.
They can't now, not if you want to go. Anyhow, I want to do it. You flattered me, so it went to my head. I have to prove how wonderful I am. Here's the money. Now, if there's anything left over, you can buy something to rub on to keep the mosquitoes away.
Well, thank you, darling. It's the nicest birthday present I ever had.
You have a good time. But you stick to your diet now. If you catch any bass, and cook that, dear.
Well, we expect to.
Well, all right, here. The calorie book says a small slice of bass, 2 inches square and 1 inch thick, is 100 calories. So remember, promise now.
2 inches by 1 inch? I'm supposed to sit there counting calories while fresh lake bass fries and butter over the campfire?
And give me the money back. You can't go or else promise.
Oh,
come on.
All right, I promise I'll stick to my diet.
The Couple Next Door stars Peg Lynch and Alan Bunce.
65 years ago, July 1st, 1960. The Couple Next Door here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Encore Theater up tomorrow. Robert Taylor in The Men in White. Also Calling All Cars. I Was a Communist with the FBI. Night Watch. And we'll go to Pine Ridge and see what's going on with Lum and Abner as they try to find Elizabeth. Have yourself a great Tuesday. See you for Wednesday's Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox.